Welcome to Doing Life Podcast. We were gone for a couple weeks due to COVID-19 ravaging my house. First week was home with my family. Second week, I sounded like, you ever put gravel in a trash can and roll it around? That's what I sounded like. So, but we're back. We have my dear friend Hanna Dirickson with us today. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
She is, she's going to join us and talk about her life, and she's a Weatherford product. She's been in Weatherford her whole life. But Hanna, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background? How did you come to be here at FBC?
So I'm pretty sure I was born in the church, actually. No. I have been at this church my entire life. I'm a sophomore currently here at SWASU, health science major. But yeah, just super involved here in Weatherford and at FBC. Weatherford graduate in 2020. Mm-hmm. So Weatherford, born and bred, can't get it out of me.
Yeah.
So ain't getting rid of me anytime soon either.
And your health science, so what do you want to do with that?
Not sure, not quite so sure, but thinking about occupational therapy, just not sure if I want to do 4 more years of school.
Yeah. I did the amount of school that it would take to get that degree, to get 1 degree. It took me that long, so.
As long as you get there.
You should be happy that you're
on track.
progressing on track. So born and bred here in Weatherford, Oklahoma.
Yep.
So all through K through 12.
K through 12.
Okay.
Lifer.
A lifer, which is rare in a larger city to go to school the entire time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm K through 12, but we also had 17 kids in my class. So awesome. Well, so you've been here your whole life. You've been at this church your whole life. You know it like the back of your hand.
Yep.
So what has your personal walk with Christ looked like over the years coming to church here?
So I was saved in 5th grade at VBS. Pat Lightfoot is the one that took me back to this random room in the FLC, and she's like, "Do you want to talk about Jesus?" I'm like, "I think so. I think I do,
Possibly.
Pat. Possibly." I'm like, "Why are we in this room?" And it was the Colossal roller coaster theme VBS that year. So I distinctly remember I could sing the song still. I won't do that for you though.
Well. Maybe that'll be on the B-roll.
B-roll, yeah. Bonus reel. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it was 5th grade VBS. Got baptized 2 weeks later on my birthday, week after my birthday, something like that. Only reason why I remember it, I think. And I think that was just all right, that's what I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And so that's it. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't make my faith my own until about junior year. I was put into a D group with Sarah Caldwell and some other high school girls, and they really just poured into me and showed me what it meant to read my Bible, because I probably had never read my Bible for more than 5 days in a row at that point. So it was really high school whenever I started getting serious about my faith and what it looked like. So now as a sophomore in college, 4 years later, still walking, still growing, still learning.
Did we start D groups 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I think it might have been 5 now.
I think it's 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years of D groups, and it's been the biggest blessing to be in D groups. And now I lead a D group. This is my 3rd year leading a D group. I have some college freshmen and a college junior in my group, and they're great. We meet every Monday night up in the library, the BCM, the weirdest place, looking around all the Mandarin Bibles, but we're getting into the Word, and it's been great. It's been great to be in D groups, to lead D groups, to help grow.
Any of your original D group members, are they leading D groups, or have they gone off to?
So my original D group that I was in, the girls I was with, they've either gone to different colleges or they just no longer attend church. My first D group I led was sophomore girls. I was a senior in high school. I led sophomore girls. And one of them, I think, is in the process of making a D group happen.
Oh, cool.
So that has been a blessing to see.
Some fruit there.
Yeah, there's some fruit there. And it's been really nice to see her grow and be able to still pour into her, because she's still in the youth groups, being able to see her grow and now pour into the younger generation. Such a great thing to see.
Yeah, it's full circle.
Full circle.
Happened for you, happens for her.
Yeah, so now I'm done. I'm out. I throw in the towel.
And I'll mention this, not only has Hanna gone to church here her whole life, she has worked here for several years.
3 years. This
3
month
years.
marks 3 years in the audio world.
Yeah, she is a sound engineer, and she is Picasso with, well, that's not a good one. Leonardo da Vinci with the soundboard.
Yeah.
She
I push all the right buttons. And stuff happens.
Between her and Denise Hamburger, they make my world spin in the best way. They're the only reason this stuff happens. So if you see Hannah or Denise, give them a high five because they deserve it.
And if you too want to do sound,
hit
me up because we're looking to train some more.
Yes, because she doesn't want to do this forever. I want her to do it forever, but
trying to get out of Dodge.
Yeah, life happens.
Life happens.
So, as of late, speaking of life, good segue there. How has the Lord worked in your life lately?
One of the big things that the Lord kind of keeps this is a bad analogy, slapping me in the face with is things aren't going to work out the way I want. I want things I want people on time. I want them to do their job correctly. It's if you're late, you suck.
This is my shocked face.
Yeah, so shocking. So a month ago we were at Passion, and it's 60,000 people in this building. They have top of the line equipment. These people do this for a living.
Yeah.
And the first day, things just fell apart. The screen shut off. The dome that opens, sparks came out of the ceiling. Things just kept going wrong, and
gracious.
And just this, doing sound has kind of ruined concerts for me to a certain degree, because I'm always picking up on things that normal people wouldn't.
Yes.
And so I'm that was terrible. The electric player just ruined that riff. What are they doing? And so just noticing things that people that do this for a living, that do this for their job, things still go wrong. And that was just a reminder. It's our little $2,000 board up there upstairs. Things are going to go wrong here. Things are going to go wrong at Passion. And then even just a couple weeks ago at Re-Weekend, middle of the last song, and the Mac just froze up. And everything turned off. And poor Mikhailin, she was doing it for the first time ever. And she was what did I do? And I'm
she broke everything.
She thought she did break everything. No. And so it was just plans got changed at Re-Weekend. Things didn't go correctly at Re-Weekend. And that was just a awesome reminder of just take things in stride. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
My plans are not the Lord's plans unless I surrender what I'm wanting to do with my life to Him first.
Yeah, that's great.
So,
that's great. Yeah, she's used to things going wrong on stage because she has to run sound for me.
This is true.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That makes me. It's also, to me anyway, and you can weigh in on this. I find it comforting that things go wrong at big productions too.
Yeah, it was honestly the weirdest feeling, because I'm even their speakers pop, or their guitar rang, or they don't know what they're doing, or the most awkward part was Levi Lusko was up on stage, and he was supposed to do a transition into the last, I don't know, the speaker or something, and he just stood there. He just stood there, he kind of just and they're zooming in on his face, and we're all what's about to happen? And then he just looked up and he walked off the stage, and we're that wasn't part of the plan.
Right.
But, things don't go to plan.
It's a multi-million-dollar production.
Multi-million-dollar production.
And things go wrong.
Yeah, we sat behind, the production area, and I was can I come look?
Yeah.
What do you got over there?
Yeah, that would be, hieroglyphics compared to what we have.
I looked over, I was not for me.
Man. It's comforting, but it's also, humbling, too.
Yes.
To know we're not doing this to look good. We're not doing this for anyone other than Him.
Yep.
So a lifer here at FBC, a lifer and beyond. I mean, we're talking born and raised. What does FBC Weatherford mean to you?
See, we did this for my senior year video. Seth was everybody send me a video, one word.
Yeah.
What does FBC mean to you?
Yeah.
And it was everybody said family. And I said family too, because that's the truth. Coming up through the youth group and now transitioning into the university life group. And it's comfort. It's comforting. I have people that I can go talk to. There's staff here I can talk to. There's my friends I can talk to. There's other leaders. I get to do life with them.
Yeah.
And I think there's a uniqueness about church family that people who didn't grow up with church family won't really understand, won't understand what they're missing. And that's something I'm always trying to show people, church family is family. And I the idea of like the day that I have to like move away from Weatherford is kind of just like dreadful.
Then don't.
Just,
Stay here forever.
Just work here forever at the front desk. Catch
Pays
me,
well, right?
Yeah, catch me at 42, just chilling at the front desk. No, they'll get rid of me by then. But yeah, so it's just like obviously like things change. Like I'll have to move eventually, maybe. But like it's like moving away like across the country from your family. Like that's just such a like. I think just factor, like you can tell that like church family is family, and it's just such, like I really don't know what I would do without church community and being able to meet with people every week who are walking through life the same way that I am.
Yeah. So, trying to think of how to word this. You've been here a long time, and you've seen changes and changes and changes and changes. People come and go.
Yeah.
Probably the only person that's been here your entire life is Earl.
Yeah, he
staff.
started like a couple of months before I was born.
Yeah.
So like, him and Donna.
Yeah, him and Hanna. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, coming from, because you were born in 2002. Gosh, makes me feel old.
Yep.
So coming from 2002 to 2022, as you're, are you 20 yet?
I'll be 20 in June.
Okay, so you're coming up on 20.
Yeah.
You're no longer going to be a teenager.
Darn.
You've seen so much change and whatnot. Has that community aspect been a constant thing, or is that something that has developed or, ebb and flow?
Right. I think it was probably a development like linear development straight up through coming into youth in middle school. So, I started youth group 6th grade before we still had 6th grade in youth, and that was Stephen Myers.
Yeah.
And then going into freshman year, that was with James Paul Lane, and now, Seth this year. So like just seeing like 3 different youth pastors over my years here, seeing different university ministers, like new positions at the church being formed for like missions and such. And so there's been change in that, but each one of those people that have entered my life, left my life in different circumstances have poured into me in some way. And it's not just like they move away and I never see them again. Like they're definitely people that I know that I could still go talk to, and like I'm still in some sort of connection and like always catching up. Like saw Stephen Myers 2 weeks ago, and he was like, "I'm proud of the person that you've become." And so just to be reminded, like 11-year-old me versus 20-year-old me, and I still have that common denominator of church community.
Yeah.
And so when things change and like, you're the 3rd music minister I've seen.
Yeah.
So from John Gerber to John Hogan and now you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just big change.
We've downgraded
severely. No, but it's just, things change and that's healthy.
Yeah.
Change is healthy.
Change is healthy, and then the constant, eyes on the one goal.
Right. Yeah.
Things can change, but the song remains the same.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I'm a music minister, so the song remains the same.
Yeah, song remains the
I
same.
think that's a Led Zeppelin song.
What a great reference.
Yeah, in the comments, let us know.
Let us know what your favorite Led Zeppelin song is.
Mine is Kashmir, but that's just me. Anyway.
I was more of an AC/DC child.
Yeah, I like them too. This video has been sponsored by music we shouldn't be talking about. So obviously, I don't even think. I mean, this last question. I mean, you've pretty much beat it to death in a good way. Community.
Yeah.
That's just staggeringly important to your walk, and I think that it's the case for just about anyone's walk is not only the community but the accountability that brings.
Yeah, we're not meant to do life alone. We're not meant to be able to hold ourselves accountable. Like, self-control is a fruit of the Spirit, but also walking with others in your life through your faith, just in general, is what we're designed to be. And when change comes, when people leave, when people come in, it's kind of like a relearning process, but you're still on the same team.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's in our Membership Matters packets, but if you open it up, it's like talking about like the church values, and it's like FEC is a family, and in a family you're not always going to get your way.
Yeah.
And so that's always been like when things change, I'm like,
put that in more than the membership packet. we should
sticker on every person that walks in.
I'm going to wear a t-shirt that says that.
You're not going to get your way. It's my way only. No.
I like that's something I tell myself is in order to, in a family group, you don't get your way all
Yeah.
the time. It's compromise, and you compromise because you love them.
Yeah.
You love the people around you.
Yeah. And if I, as an only child, can understand that, no, not throwing shade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's just important to know that, like, you're not in it for yourself. You're in it to make the most of the kingdom, to spread the kingdom, and to nurture and grow new believers. And if your personal preference is getting in the way, then I think you need to look at your heart.
Yeah. Which it's you can sometimes feel that creeping in.
Yeah.
And you have to say, no. Because from personal experience, say, lead me not to temptation.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt this place, and I don't want to hurt any people.
Right.
And I think that's the familial mindset is.
Yeah.
And sometimes hard conversations have to happen.
Sure.
I bet you've had your fair share over the 20 years you've been in this church. But
For sure.
But I think that's another part of family is tough conversations.
Always about having a heart of worship, like the song "Heart of Worship." It kind of
Classic.
It is a classic. We sang it every weekend, and I was like, "Yep, that's a right in the heart kind of deal," because it was like things went wrong every weekend, like things didn't go the way I wanted it. It's like I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it, because it's all about you. So every Sunday and every Wednesday that I'm up there at the board mixing, I pray for a heart of worship, because it's not about what I can do. Yes, I want to use my gift to the best I can.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's did we worship? Yes.
Yeah. And I think there's zero wrong with wanting to sound awesome.
Yeah.
We're we want to sound awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
But not just to sound awesome.
Right. It's not a concert.
Right. We want to bring people to worship.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's just a good attitude to have.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, anything else that you have to add? Any words of wisdom for our many
Our
viewers?
many viewers. I'm not sure I'm that wise.
I think you're wise.
I want to join the band.
Yeah.
If you can play electric guitar, hit us up.
If you can, we're always looking for talent.
Yep.
To come and if you're timid, that's fine. We can break you.
We can put you in the corner. No.
Yeah.
But no, on the real, words of wisdom. Really, just remember, it's not about you. It's about glorifying God and being there and doing what you're supposed to do for the kingdom. Don't let your preferences get in the way. Don't let new people get in the way. Don't let people leaving get in the way. I think that's so big, and have those hard conversations. Just last night at D group, some of my girls speaking about music, they're like, sometimes I just can't stand when we sing hymns. And I'm just like, well, it sucks. No, not really. But it's just you make worship what it is, and make worship you can worship in any style of music. Even if you may not like it. If you came up on stage one morning, you're like, country worship, let's go. I may be standing over a trash can, gagging, but I would make it through. And we would worship.
Surprise, this Sunday, no.
Red dirt, no.
No, never.
Never.
Sorry, it's not going to happen. But.
Yeah. Go down to Hobart or something for that, I don't know. Binger, Hinton, I don't know. Red dirt country.
Yeah, that's just, Anyway, you're right. I think we... Our hearts have to be in the right place,
Absolutely.
Regardless of anything. So
that's about all the wisdom I got.
That's pretty wise.
That's pretty wise.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on
to do this. Love you like a little sister. Very, very happy to.
Yeah, you bully me like one.
I do. I mean, you don't have any siblings, so he's
got to do it. That's why I threaten to quit every 2 weeks.
Yeah. If she hasn't given her 2 weeks, then I have to do something.
He's got to do his job better.
Yeah. But again, thank you. This has been fun, and I think we're gonna have next week. For the next episode, I think we're going to have Mr. Jim Morrison on.
Heyo, little teaser.
Yeah, his many ministerial hats
that
he wears.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to bring us some info on some of the various ministries that he's a part of. So stay tuned for that, and we will see you in the next episode.
Go Dogs.